Good evening and welcome to another video. Today is Saturday the 16th of July 2016, and in tonight's video I'm going to look ahead and preview day number 2 of the 2016 PDC BetVictor World Matchplay, which is going to take place in the Winter Gardens in Blackpool live on Sky Sports. Now day 2 is a unique day in the World Matchplay. It's the only double session, which is an afternoon session take place between 1 PM and 5 PM, and an evening session take place between 7 PM and 11 PM, and it's going to be live on Sky Sports 2. There's going to be 4 matches in each session from the first round, so it's 8 matches in total with the same rules as yesterday. So I'm not going to throw the rules of the formats of this competition. We'll just get straight into the matches. The first match of the afternoon sees Stephen Bunting take on Mensur Suljovic. Now this is Stephen Bunting's third appearance at this competition. In 2014 he reached the second round, and last year he got knocked out in the first round, so he's only won one match on this Blackpool stage. His highlight this year was winning a Pro Tour event in March. He's also reached the last 16 of the UK Open and reached the quarter-finals of a European Tour event in Austria. And he takes on the Austrian Mensur Suljovic. Now he had a decent run at the World Matchplay last year, reaching the quarter-finals. This is his third appearance as well at this competition. In 2013 he lost the first round, and this is his third occasion. Last year he obviously got to the quarter-finals. He didn't qualify in 2014, but it's just a blip. But he did qualify last year in 2015 and reached the quarter-finals. This season he has reached the semi-finals on the Pro Tour and the European Tour, and he's had 7 quarter-finals as well on the Pro Tour, so he's played decent this year. And he's also reached the last 16 of the UK Open and the quarter-finals of the World Cup of Darts last month. So what do I think is going to happen in this match? I think it's a very tight match between these two. There's not much to split them. Stephen Bunting's got a little bit of form and a little bit of confidence back in his game, but Mensur are a very tough player to beat because of that pace he plays at. He will slow Stephen Bunting down in this game, and I think that might get into Stephen Bunting's mind in this match. But I think that Stephen Bunting will overcome the odds and beat Mensur Suljovic in this match by 10 legs to 8 in this match. I think it'll be tight. I don't think it will go into overtime, but I think that Stephen Bunting will get the job done by 10 legs to 8. The second match of the afternoon session sees Kim Huybrechts take on Gerwyn Price. Now these two have played each other 3 times before, and Kim slightly leads the head-to-head with 2 wins over Gerwyn's 1-1. Surprisingly, Kim Huybrechts is another one with a poor record on the Blackpool stage, just like Robert Thornton was until his match tonight. He's never won a match on the Blackpool stage. He's played 5 and lost 5, but he's had a decent year this year, but not a great year. He got to the last 16 of the UK Open. He's also reached semi-finals of the World Cup, and he's had semi-finals on the Pro Tour and European Tour events so far this season. And he takes on Gerwyn Price. Now last season, Gerwyn Price made his debut at the Matchplay, and he had a very, very impressive debut, reaching the quarter-finals. He's had an average to poor season this season on the European Tour, and he'll also be disappointed not to get past the last 16 of the World Cup of Darts with Team Wales, but his highlight was winning a Pro Tour event in May. So what do I think is going to happen in this match? I think this will be a win for Kim Huybrechts. I think Kim Huybrechts will win this match by 10 legs to 6 over Gerwyn Price. I think that Kim Huybrechts generally plays better in afternoon matches, and I think he'll take advantage of this against Gerwyn Price and win this match by 10 legs to 6. The penultimate game of the afternoon session sees Terry Jenkins take on Justin Pipe. Now these two have played 12 times previously, and Justin Pipe edges the head-to-head with 7 wins to Terry's 5 wins, and Justin Pipe has won the last 3 meetings between these two, but they were a long time ago in 2012, 2013 and 2014. Now Terry Jenkins is a bridesmaid of the PDC and has made the final of the match play twice in 2007 and 2009. In 2007 he actually beat Phil Taylor on his way to the final before getting beat by James Wade. In 2009 he got beat off of Phil Taylor. His highlight this year was a semi-final place on the European Tour and the Austrian Open. He's had a lot of poor performances this year, and he started showing signs of aging this year for the first real time the last couple of years. He has really shown signs of what age he is. Age is catching up for him, but has he got one big week left in him? And he takes on Justin Pipe. Now, Justin Pipe's made two quarterfinals in the match play before in 2012 and 2013, but he's lost first round in the last 2 years. It's a poor year for Justin Pipe. He's had many early exits in the Pro Tour and the European Tour, and he needs to rally with his form and really dig in to try and get this form back, because he's one of these people that needs to grind out results. I used to get back to that grinding out results before the form can improve and he can start to show more flamboyancy with higher scoring. So he really needs to dig in. What do I think is going to happen in this match? I think this game could go into overtime, and I think Terry Jenkins could win this game by 12 legs to 10 over Justin Pipe. The last match of the afternoon says Ian Wright take on Daryl Gurney. These two have played 5 times previously, and Ian Wright surprisingly is head to head 5-0 over Daryl Gurney. Now, 4 of those wins have came in the floor competition events, and the other one came in the UK Open in the last 96th stage, which is the third round stage. All the meetings between these two have been in the last 2 years. So they've technically all been on the floor, because the last 96 game I don't think was the TV. I might be wrong with that. But Ian Wright has won 2 Pro Tour events so far this year, and he's also reached the Sunday of 2 European Tour events. He's played well in this event before, reaching the quarterfinals last year and the last 16 in 3 years before that. So he's always won a match in the World Matchplay in the last 4 years. He's won 1 match in the last 3 years, and he's won 2 matches last year, reaching the quarterfinals. And he takes on Daryl Gurney. Now, this is Daryl Gurney's matchplay debut, and after Daryl Gurney's end to last year, I expected more consistency from at the start and the middle of this year. He reached the final of the Dutch Masters and European Tour in February, and he helped Northern Ireland to the semi-final of the World Cup of Darts last month. So they're 2 big highlights for him so far this year. So what do I think is going to happen in this match? I think this could be a very, very tight match, but I think that Daryl Gurney could upset the seeded player in this match, Ian Wright, by 10 legs to 7. We'll now move on to the evening session, which starts at 7 PM, and the first match sees James Wade take on Mervyn King. Now, these two have played 37 times previously, and James Wade leads the head-to-head with 20 wins. There's been 1 draw, and Mervyn has won 16 occasions. James has very, very good memories of Blackpool. He won here back in 2007. I can't believe it was 9 years ago, and that was his first ever major in the PDC. This year, he's played well when he's really stepped up his game. And the unranked events in the PDC has been the semi-finals in the Masters and the finals in the World Series in China. And in the floor tournaments, he has been a finalist in 2 events, and he won a European Tour event in Germany. And he takes on Mervyn King. Now, Mervyn King's best performance in the match play was in the semi-final of 2009. Since then, he's only won 1 game at the match play, which is a strange statistic as well. He did so well reaching the semi-final in his first couple of appearances. After it reached its first couple of appearances, then he's never won a game. He's only won 1 game since that appearance, which is very surprising for Mervyn King. Mervyn King has had a poor year this year, and his back is really struggling, and he's really sweating under the TV lights when he's played on the TV. But he has reached a semi-final on a European Tour in the Dutch Masters in February. And apart from that, he would be disappointed, because he does set himself a very, very high level, does Mervyn. And he'll be hoping to reach those high levels in this match play this year. So what do I think is going to happen in this match? I think that James Wade's going to win this match quite comprehensively by 10 legs to 6. The second match of the evening sees Adrian Lewis take on Mark Webster. Now, these two have played 18 times before, and Adrian Lewis leads the head-to-head with 12 wins, and Mark Webster has won 6 occasions. Now, Adrian Lewis's best result at the match play was in 2013 when he reached the final. He beat Michael van Gerwen in the semi-finals that year. He often plays very, very well in this competition. It takes a very good performance to beat him in the match play. He's had a decent year this year. He was part of Team England that won the World Cup. He's a semi-finalist in the Premier League and he's won a Pro Tour event in February and reached the final of a Pro Tour event in March. So he's in decent form so far this year, but not the form that actually ended last year with. And he takes on Mark Webster. Now, Mark Webster's best performance in Blackpool was in the 2011 when he reached the quarter-finals. He hasn't qualified for the last two match plays, but he's back in this year's match play. His best achievement this year, in my eyes, was him reaching the quarter-finals of the UK Open. On the floor, he's been a mixed bag, reaching 6 quarter-finals and semi-finals along the way so far this season. But he's been disappointed on the European Tour and he was disappointing in the World Cup of Darts in my eyes. So what do I think is going to happen in this match? I think that Adrian Lewis will outshine Mark Webster in this match. This could be a tight match that could sneak into overtime, but I think that Adrian Lewis will win this match by 11 legs to 9 over Mark Webster. The next match in the penultimate game of the evening session sees Gary Anderson take on Alan Norris. This will be a very quick fire affair. These two have played 4 times previously and Gary Anderson leads the head-to-head with 3 wins and Alan Norris has won on 1 occasion. Gary Anderson won a meeting in the BDO back in 2008, but all 3 other meetings were in 2015. 2 were on the Pro Tour, with both winning 1 each, and 1 was in the European Tour, which Gary Anderson won. Now, this isn't Gary Anderson's best major. Saying that, it's very difficult to split which is his best major and which is his least favourite major, but he's only reached the semi-final of the match play before in 2014. It's one of the only majors he hasn't reached the final of, but recently he's been playing very, very well. He's reached 3 of the first 4 World Series events, so he's travelling very, very well in the last few weeks. And apart from that, he's had a win on the Pro Tour in February, but he'll be disappointed with his UK Open and World Cup of Darts performances again earlier on this year, last month with the World Cup of Darts and in March for the UK Open. So he has really stepped things up in recent times. It'll be interesting to see if he can continue that form in the match play against Alan Norris. Now, Alan Norris is making his debut at Blackpool this year and he's back to a very good first year in the PDC with a decent second year. He'll be disappointed with his performances on European Tour and he had an average UK Open, but his highlight this year was reaching a Pro Tour final in February, which he'll be very happy with that performance. So what do I think is going to happen in this match? I think the pace will suit both players in this match, but I think that Gary Anderson will get the job done against Alan Norris in this match by 10 legs to 7. I think that Alan Norris will push him early in this match, but as the match wears on, I think we've seen with the World Series, Gary Anderson will build his way into the match. I think Gary Anderson will win this match by 10 legs to 7. The last match of the evening sees Peter Wright take on Joe Cullen. Now, these two have played 9 times previously, with Peter leading the head-to-head with 7 wins and Joe has won 2 occasions. Now, these two have played 3 times on TV before and Peter Wright has won on all 3 occasions. And off TV events, it is 4-2 to Peter Wright as well on the Pro Tour events. Now, Peter Wright's best result in the match play came last year when he reached the semi-final. This year so far, he's been at the back end to a lot of tournaments. He's reached 7 quarter-finals, 3 semi-finals, and he's been the finals at the UK Open and a European Tour event. He's also won a Pro Tour event this year as well. So he's been getting very deep in competitions, which shows he's playing very well. And he takes on Joe Cullen. This is Joe Cullen's second time at the match play. His first appearance in the match play was back in 2012 and he was knocked out in the last 32. He didn't qualify for the next 3 years, but he's done very, very well to qualify again this year. He's had a good season so far, reaching the quarter-finals of the UK Open. He's been semi-finals on the European Tour and he's been a finalist twice on the Pro Tour so far this season. So this is excellent form from Joe Cullen. He's a quick thrower who's either blows hot or cold, and this season he's blowed more hot than cold. So it's been great to see that for Joe. A lot of people thought we'd see this type of performance from Joe Cullen 3, 4, 5 years ago, but we're now seeing it, so it's now great to see that. What do I think is going to happen in this match, however? I think that Peter Wright will get the upper hand against Joe Cullen, and I think Peter Wright will win this match quite comprehensively by 10 legs to 5. So thank you for taking time to watch this video. If you want to leave any feedback on this video, you can do so either via the comment section on the DM Sports YouTube channel, via my Twitter, which is at Duggan90, or via my Facebook, which is DM Sports. If you want to leave feedback via the Tungsten Tackle, you can do so via their Facebook, via the website, or via their Twitter. Or you can drop a thumbs up on this video, which would be greatly appreciated and shows how much that you support this video. So thank you for taking time to watch this video, and until tomorrow when I preview day 3 of the PDC BetVictor World Matchplay, I will see you then. Goodbye.